There's a lot of companies that are in distress, and they need people, they need capital, they need money, advisors to come in and help bail them out. Peter Kaufman does just that. He is president and head of restructuring and distressed M&A at the Gordian Group, and like the name might imply, they try to solve problems. Peter, welcome to the program.
Nice
Listen, you've been advising on some of the auto stuff. You've been out there in the market fairly extensively. Distressed has been called the new M&A.
Right.
What do you see happening with your market? Where are we going in corporate America?
Well, I think that we've got a long-term trend here, a multi-year trend that we've never seen before. It's a very different landscape, and it's a landscape where, fortunately or unfortunately, the rules of the road are going to be governed by the bankruptcy code. Because anytime you've got a distressed situation and you're trying to either recapitalize it with the players at the table or someone's coming in from the outside, even if the company's not in Chapter 11, all of the participants, all of the constituents are going to measure their recoveries and their strategies against what would happen under the rules of the bankruptcy code in Chapter 11.
Are your clients, or maybe people that are on the other side of the table from your clients, are their expectations right? I mean, do they understand maybe the severity of some of the... Oftentimes, people that are in distressed situations fail to recognize that they may be.
Well, I think that, you don't have monolithic constituencies around the table. For example, we at Gordian, we specialize these days not only in advising boards of directors that have these issues, but out-of-the-money private equity firms, firms that are underwater from a value perspective, and now they're trying to restructure because new money's needed, and they don't want to put in money unless there's a recapitalization. And so even when we're dealing with a bank group, I'm en route to a meeting right after this with a bank group that is not monolithic. You've got some CLOs, you've got some traditional banks, you've got some hedge funds. None of them have the same goals, issues, and concerns. And so trying to herd them to the right spot at a time when there isn't enough value to go around is always daunting. But if you are aggressive in exploiting weaknesses around the table and you understand from a financial perspective what can be done inside the bankruptcy code, you can devise, as we do at Gordian, carrots and sticks to encourage constituents to do what you want them to do.
What works better these days, the carrot or the stick?
Neither works well without the other. You must have both. If you only have carrots, it's akin to saying, "Mother, may I," and you don't do well. And if you just have a stick, that's not very good. But if you go there armed with both in an even-handed fashion...
But if you own a lot of senior debt, if you're, you've got a stick, you've got a big stick.
Well, maybe you don't want to own the company. The company needs new money. You've got a diverse senior bank group that has entities that want to own debt, not equity, and now I offer to turn over the keys to you of the company, and now you have to own it, you've got to operate it, you've got to put in new money. That may not be exactly what you're looking for.
This whole show is sort of the theme, macro theme has been where are we going? So in your industry then, what do you see happening? Distress rates were almost nil a couple of years ago, 1% default rates.
Right.
Where are they going to go?
I think they're going to continue to go higher, and you're going to see increasing bankruptcies. Because,
double digits?
Absolutely. Traditionally in recessions, you get there, and bankruptcies always lag the recovery. So even if there is a recovery now, which, by the way, I don't believe there is, but even if there were to be, I think the bankruptcies only are going to increase over the next couple of years. Companies heretofore haven't been able to afford bankruptcy. A lot of the bankruptcies you've seen, a lot of the big companies...
That sounds odd. Can't afford bankruptcy.
Well, that's right, because they can't afford DIP financing. There's nobody out there to buy them. Circuit City, for example. It's a classic example of a big company that files for Chapter 11 and becomes a liquidation. The landscape has been littered the last year or so with more liquidations than either restructurings or distressed sales. I think that's when there's a little more liquidity in the system to prime the pump, you're going to see more traditional restructurings as well as mergers and acquisitions.
Peter Kaufman of the Gordian Group, we will let you get to that meeting. But thank you for taking us in your world. Appreciate it.
Great to see you, Brian.
Peter.
Thank you.